This anime just simply doesn't miss. Fantasy Knockout just continues to be one of the most, I honestly think like the funniest anime of the winter season so far. Like in this episode, not only did we get revisited the elf that was unparalleled beauty and finally got defeated by beauty, by Tachibana, and apparently a lot of bad things befell her because she ended up getting, I don't know, captured or sold to some kind of trader or slave trader, and that slave trader ended up selling her off to somebody in this squid town as a sacrifice. And then the end of the episode is the squid person there. I don't know what the hell is up with all the squids, by the way. We gotta find out. But the squid person there, who's like the squid guy, ended up recognizing Tachibana's beauty, kidnapping her, and then bringing her to this ritual that happens for beautiful people. And I just found it all crazy. And the other thing that was crazy as well is that Jinguuji finds out about kind of something that ends up happening here because of the slave trader guy. He's like, yo, is Tachibana really beautiful? He's like, you want to like hurry the F up because apparently this town's effing crazy. So all those things, and this is just like the last, I don't know, 90 seconds to like 2 minutes of the episode, and it was just freaking ass hilarious. Like the initial scene when the elf drives by in the thing, she's like, "Rah!" And Tachibana and Jinguuji look at each other like, ooh, do we do anything? Like, Jinguuji's like, now let's just pretend we saw nothing. We saw nothing at all. They're like, okay, keep going. Like, just that alone, immediately, like, I, like, lost my crap. So I thought that was hilarious and funny. The other part that I thought was incredibly funny is Schwarzenheimer, or whatever his name is, the Kirito, our dollar store Kirito, finally gets vindicated, finally gets abdicated, that he was actually of the goddess, but he lost his sword. The homeboy lost his sword. But he finally gets recognized by the goddess and the people there, and they're finally like, oh shit, he is a hero. So good thing for him. He got to stay in that town. He gets to be a hero and all the things that happen there. And they also got, Jinguuji and Tachibana got invited to stay in that town forever. Obviously, they kept going. They finally made it to the Squid Town or whatever. And then they have like a romantic lovers quarrel. Excuse me, guys. They had like a romantic lovers quarrel as well. When, obviously Tachibana got called out for, how Schwartz got his sword. Well, she got Jinguuji. As being the weapon, the thing that she saw as the most powerful thing ever. And Jinguuji gives her a lot of crap about that. And she ends up going through the elementary book where she was like, oh, what would you take on an island? She wrote Jinguuji. We don't know what Jinguuji wrote down because he marked it with marker, and that's where they got into like their lovers quarrel. But overall, like, Fantasy Bishoujo, Fantasy Knockout, whatever you want to call it, ends up, it continues to be one of my favorite anime this season. This season has a lot of really good anime that I'm covering, anime that I'm not covering. But this anime continues to be like one of the best of the season. I think this is probably like if in the fall, Komi Can't Communicate was like the funniest anime. I think Fantasy Bishoujo, Fantasy Knockout, I think continues to be the funniest anime of the comedy, or the funniest comedy of the anime season so far for winter of 2022. It's definitely like the most enjoyable. I continue to just really have those belly laugh moments in each of the episodes, which is what makes an anime really special. And what's cool too is there is a driving plot. There is a story that is unfolding and that is happening with the goddesses. We finally got to meet one of the goddesses. We found out that, okay, the goddess of love is what summoned Tachibana and Jinguuji, and Schwarzenheimer over here was summoned by the different god, and they're both summoned here to defeat the demon lord, demon king, whatever. And it's like a race, and we're gonna find out more about the goddesses as we move on, as we roll on throughout the rest of the season. But really, like, I like how there is a plot and there is a story, there's a driving force as we move forward, but it's very much rooted in the comedy and in Tachibana and Jinguuji dealing with their magneticness towards each other, but they're trying to pull away from that. I think it's very enjoyable. Overall, I think it's really all I have. Another badass episode in a really good anime. Really funny, really enjoyable, And I'll see you guys next week for episode number 7. Drop some thoughts. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Let me know if you think it was fire as well. Or let me know if you thought this one was not as good as the others. Let me know whatever you think about this episode. Let me know in the comments below. Let's chat down there. And I'll see you, my friends, next week for episode number 7.